another one. So, a couple months ago, I tried out the Apple Watch Ultra 3 as my only phone. And it was pretty good, but I kind of have one major complaint of the app support. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Galaxy Watch Ultra, which actually has full Android app support if you use ADB. Now, I specifically purchased the 2024 version of this, mainly because the 2024 version of this is pretty much the same as the 25 one, and the 26 one, it's actually got a way bigger battery, so I don't know, I might upgrade to that mid-video. We also got some included watch bands that I should probably wash, and the cool proprietary charger. You know, at first I was thinking the Galaxy Watch would be like a ripoff of the Apple Watch, but honestly they're pretty different, unless you consider orange like a copyrighted color. I have never used a Galaxy Watch before though, so how do I turn this thing on? I guess this button? Hello? Oh, that did it. Check for a pairing pop-up on your Galaxy phone. Alright, let me bring up my Fold. Check that. Oh, okay, it's like activating. Downloading. Oh, is it like updating the watch? Your phone will use Galaxy Watch 7 Manager to connect to your watch. Okay, so it's got like specialized software for the generation of watch. That's pretty strange. You know, I wonder how the watch bands connect. Do you just like push them in or... Oh, okay, somehow I did it. Apparently you just gotta like use a lot of force and just snap it in. Okay. So do I just like rip it out to remove it, or you know, I'm probably gonna break it if I do that. Select apps for your watch. We got a grand total of 4 it's suggesting. Don't worry, we're gonna be using ADB to fix that up in a bit. Select quick, oh, the action button. You know, I thought that was the home button at first, but alright. Check your body's battery level. Like, you know what? That's actually really cool. The Apple Watch doesn't have that. Emergency SOS. Oh, mobile plan. How am I going to transfer this from my watch? I guess maybe I could like go to AT&T and like tell them the SIM card of the Galaxy Watch Ultra. Or sorry, the IMEI. Same diff. It's finishing up. And you're all set. Wake up. Wake up. Come on. Wake up. Take a tour of your watch. Okay, so is it like the Wear OS controls where you got like the tiles? Okay, yeah, quick panel. Oh, yeah, it's really got like a One UI theme all over it. Next, finding your apps. For apps, swipe up from the bottom edge. I can't like scroll? There's no digital crown on this? Oh, okay. I mean, my initial impressions of that is that it sucks, but I don't know, maybe I can learn to work around it. Now let's learn about tiles. Yeah, you swipe from the side, you get like widgets, right? Yep. And then for notifications, wait, actually, how do you do that? Oh, so swipe right, duh. Press the home button. Okay, so this is the home button. That's it, enjoy your watch. Okay, so if this is the action button and that's home, what does this do? Hello? Is this like the Gemini button? Oh, it's Samsung Wallet. Wait, can I rebind that to like Google Wallet, or am I like locked into their ecosystem here? Alright, before we start exploring the watch some, I do want to change the watch face. Ultra info board, a pro analog. You got any just like digital with complications? Oh, by the way, just by navigating, I figured out a new gesture. If you like swipe your finger across the bezel, it's like a swivel. Okay, that's actually a pretty good workaround for no digital crown. Alright, I'm not really seeing any I like, so why don't we go on Google Play to actually find more? It's another bonus of using like an Android watch. Can I bring up like a search bar here, or... Alright, here, let me just go to the Play Store myself. Let's see, oh, the keyboard's bigger than Apple Watch, that's nice. This UI is feeling pretty fluid, actually. I was kind of scared that it would suck. Weather watch face. If you couldn't tell, I'm looking for something that's kind of like the solar dial on Apple Watch. I ended up having to change my search term, but this one looks pretty nice. I gotta pay $1 to use it. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I'd rather pay for this and not deal with any ads. Alright, it's looking pretty good, but I can't really customize this past, I guess, the color, which I guess is kind of the fault of the developer, but either way, I think it looks nice. Let me just quickly update this thing. After the update, I then spent a bit of time with the watch just to get like the reins on the thing before we started digging into the full Android apps. To answer a couple questions, yes, you can use Google Wallet. Yeah, see, this is what I like about Android. You have the choice to change it to what you want. Oh, and also, when setting this up, it did prompt me to make a password, which I just now realized didn't bug me in the setup for. But just the fact that you can set a pin longer than 4 digits compared to the Pixel Watch, which only takes 4, is a huge improvement in my opinion. I also got pretty used to using this button for Gemini often. Honestly, I really do like it. Because if you try to use the Apple Watch for this function, either you're on watchOS 26 and it fails horribly, or you get watchOS 27 and Siri AI doesn't work. Let's get into using this thing independently though, and the first thing we gotta do to set that up is use a mobile network. After activating the watch, I took this thing out as my only device for the entire day, and oh man, do I have a lot to talk about. For one, navigating with this thing in the car is really good, even better than the Apple Watch, I'd say, because just like the Apple Watch, you get this full screen map view, which is really handy for driving. Then you could use Gemini to set the navigation, and one feature that's kind of exclusive to this, pairing it up with your car via Bluetooth. I tried that on the Apple Watch, for whatever reason, just never worked. But over here, you pop on YouTube Music, navigation works completely fine, but the battery life on the other hand, okay, look, let's be fair here. It does say learning your usage patterns, so this probably isn't going to be final because it's like my first impressions, but I took this out for 2 hours driving with navigation, YouTube Music playing. It drained it from 80 to 30%, which isn't really bad by any means, especially for a watch, but in this situation, the Apple Watch Ultra did do a bit better. But we can't forget the main reasons you'd want to go with an Android watch in the first place. One, the extra features you get, like the folders where you can hide away all the useless apps you're never going to use. And two, yes, I'm finally getting to it, full Android apps on this thing. And the experience is actually not that good, by default at least. Yeah, looking at Bandcamp here, it's kind of hard to make use of the app because everything's so scrunched, but I did make a fix. Alright, well, make is in quotations. I asked Claude Code to help me out, alright? Now, in my defense, I did use the best model available, Fable 5 Ultra Code, and it made this thing called a density toggle. What this app does is it's got like a bunch of different settings when it comes to the scaling. You got the main one here, which just shrinks the entire watch's UI, which is not really a good solution. But then you scroll down a bit more and get to the auto section, which is really cool. It uses like an accessibility service to detect when the app is open, and it only scales when the app is still open on your screen. So here, we'll set Bandcamp to 140, we'll head back into Bandcamp, and it should be scaled properly. Oh, there you go. It's still not going to be the best experience with a lot of stuff still cut off by the corners, but hey, at least you can read a lot more here. Oh, and the best part about the scaling app is that it doesn't mess up your main watch. You hit the home button, you give it like 2 seconds to reset, and then boom, you're back to your default configuration. So if you want to play with this cool thing yourself, I'm going to leave the download link in the description, but anyways, back onto my complaints. So, the extra Android app support that I was kind of soying out over, it turns out it's not completely there. I got the APK file for Bitwarden, which actually was one of my main holdbacks with switching to the Apple Watch only. I couldn't log into my accounts without my iPhone, but I tried to install it to the watch only to find out this thing uses a 32-bit user space. Now, thankfully, I'm pretty sure I can grab like a 32-bit version of Bitwarden off like GitHub or something, but there's a lot more apps that are just not going to work on this, like say Apple Music, Discord, YouTube Studio, and I'd really like to have access to those apps. So logically, think this out. What do you do when your battery isn't enough and you need better hardware? You waste more money, of course. Yup, that's right, my dumbass bought an Ultra 2. Alright, we got a new watch band. That's actually a pretty nice thing. I looked into before buying this. I can use all my Ultra 1 bands with this. Oh, here it is. Dude, I'm telling you, if this can't use 64-bit apps, I'm gonna be so disappointed. You know, looking at them side by side, it's honestly kind of hard to tell the difference. But let me transfer all my stuff over to this and see what happens. In the meantime, what else do we got inside of here? Okay, we got our other watch band. And is there seriously no charger in this? Is it maybe like at the top? Oh, here it is. Apparently this one supports fast charging this time. I did have some promotional credits, so I got an extra trail band, but honestly, maybe I shouldn't have, because I'm putting the thing on right now. I kind of don't like it. I guess it's back to the $10 Amazon one I picked up. I just finished setting up the watch. I started playing with it for a bit, and turns out we're still working with a 32-bit user space, which at first I was pissed about, but turns out I kind of messed up with my diagnosis of the app before. That universal APK I was playing with inside of Termux, it only had 64-bit binary, so grabbing a universal one from APK Mirror, the app installs just fine. So, yeah, I guess I didn't need to waste money and upgrade to the Ultra 2. Whoops. You know what, I'll just stick with it for the extra battery. This really closes the gap with what I was missing on the Apple Watch, the password manager especially, but I do gotta admit, having access to all my inboxes, YouTube Studio, and Proton Calendar is pretty nice too. I really do think like the resizing is kind of a killer feature of this. We do have one more problem though. With Apple Music, no matter how hard I try, it just crashes on this. So we're gonna be working around that by installing music on the watch itself, and we actually got 64 gigs on this, up from 32 on the Ultra 1. And all the files are local, so if I'm listening to this while driving, it should actually save me a lot more battery life. Alright, hold on, let me pull up my Mac. When I was using the Apple Watch, it kind of suckered me into trying Apple Music, and it turns out I actually really like it. Mainly because you can store a bunch of local files and have it sync to the cloud on all your devices, so you can get like weird shit that's not on streaming services, like all these YouTube playlists, while at the same time getting to keep all those files locally. So putting all of that on the watch would be pretty easy. I'm just gonna drag this, copy it to an SSD I've got attached. Wait, I gotta format the USB drive to make use of this? Alright, no big deal. I guess I'll just local send. Then we navigate through the app, scroll down to manage content, tracks on watch, hit the plus, and finally we have to go through this asinine UI where we have to click on every single individual album and hit all. Yeah, this is gonna be a while, isn't it? And some 2 hours later, we now have all the music we can listen to on this thing. I kept going back and forth with Claude Code, trying to find a way to, like, I guess scale down the app into the corners to reach buttons that aren't reachable normally. And the thing came up with this solution where you got like a button in the top, and it kind of reads all the buttons that are pressable here, and you just use that to navigate, which I also find really cool. With all these features I have at my disposal, especially compared to the Apple Watch, I really think I'm gonna be able to daily drive this. 4 a.m. is a reasonable time to wake up, right? Alright, pair of phone. Watch finds it again. Cool, okay, so I'm gonna stream YouTube music again. I'm gonna navigate with maps and probably go to the gas station because I'm a bit low right now. I can swipe up on the watch, but I'm just gonna use the Gemini button in the top right. Navigate me to Nice. All right, well, let's get going. Oh yeah, I probably should have elaborated on like the map situation here. So because you can't be checking your wrist all the time, like fiddling with the thing, unlocking it, you're gonna have to use like voice navigation, which it kind of gets a bit annoying. But at the end of the day, it's either that or nothing. Gemini's pretty quiet right now because I'm driving 5 miles straight on this road. But as soon as you go into a residential area, a plaza or a roundabout, she doesn't stop talking. And usually complaining about that is pretty stupid. But the Apple Watch, it like taps your wrist 3 times when you're gonna like make a turn or something. So I don't know, I think I'm just bitching to bitch. You know, thinking it over, I really should just be grateful that the watch pairs with the car in the first place, because having to use earbuds to listen to stuff in the car, I don't know, man, I felt so pathetic. Oh, god damn it, of course this starts as soon as I start filming. Alright, I mean, shit, hey, at least I'm less distracted with the watch. I'm not staring at that screen. Alright, time for gas. I'm gonna look like such a tool tapping to pay with this thing. The clerk there was actually asking me what I was doing, like filming using the watch, and I told him all about my plan in my YouTube video, and the first question he asked was, why? Which, I mean, good point, but my counter is, why not? Oh, and by the way, just to clarify, the phone I'm filming on doesn't have a SIM card, so I'm really just stuck with this. Anyway, back on the road. Doing this whole vlog thing actually gives me an idea. Set a reminder to make Galaxy Watch Ultra thumbnail outside. Samsung. Use Samsung reminders. What, is the car Bluetooth messing this up? Okay, just turn that off. Set a reminder to make Galaxy Watch Ultra thumbnail outside. What? Now. Samsung reminder. Samsung reminder. Alright, you know what? Fuck you, Gemini. I'll just do it myself. Gemini works for some things, but every so often I get this bug where they just won't listen for a response, and it's kind of infuriating. At least it's pretty easy to do a manual one. You just hit the plus button, dictate what you want the reminder to be, hit save and you're good. But how do I get rid of Google Tasks on this? I just dug through settings and it's not even in there, so yeah, actually, why don't we give Bixby a try instead? Can't believe I just said that sentence. Okay, so this works fine, but there's kind of another issue with that. I'm kind of just completely unable to set Bixby as the default assistant, so that button's just going to be bound to Gemini forever. But wait, can I maybe use the action button for that? Ooh, I found it. Okay, so it's not default digital assistant. You got to go to the home button bindings and change a long press to Bixby. There we go, problem solved. But can she navigate? She can, awesome. I'm glad we took care of that roadblock. Yeah, so as it turns out, most people aren't awake at 5 a.m., so Publix is actually closed. So as you do, I went to a local park and got on the swing set, but I decided with some time to kill, I may as well get my YouTube fix on the watch, and it works completely fine. This is the official normal Android client, by the way. Now, to be fair, the Apple Watch does have its own YouTube client, but I found whenever I took the thing out of the house, videos would just fail to load, so having a more reliable solution with the official app is really nice. Background play also works just fine. I closed the app, you know, dim the watch, turn the screen off, still hear it. Okay, cool, that's 20 minutes well spent. May as well go to the gym while I'm waiting, I guess. And here we are after 30 minutes of using maps and streaming YouTube music. Now, one thing I really want to point out is that we're only on like, what is that, 71%? I started this around 2 hours ago, around 94% battery, so we only lost like 24%, give or take. Let's see how this thing handles a workout and streaming music at the same time, though. This is probably gonna fry the battery. Okay, so how much did we use? 62%, so that only used 9. If I left with this thing at 100% in the morning, I would have had 66% left right now, which is just insane for the amount of use I'm putting this through. Now, believe it or not, I'm pretty uncommon in the tech space, but I actually just took a shower, and the band I was using is kind of soaked, so I'm gonna fall back to this one. Still not really comfortable, but hey, I'll give it a try. Oh, and while I'm back at the studio, I may as well wipe this watch and get ready to trade it in. I paid like $250 for the first gen on eBay, and the trade-in value for it is $250, so it's kind of an equal trade-up. I don't really think they need the band back, just the watch itself, so I'm just gonna put this in a package. Alright, let's go. I also gotta grab some groceries while I'm out, so I used Bixby to make me a list, which is just really a reminder. Oh shit, you know what? I'm actually low on these. But yeah, I took care of all of my errands. We're like 5 minutes, 30 hours into the day, and I somehow still have 52% battery left. So if you want to answer your question, can you daily drive this? Yeah, it'll last. The battery life this thing offers, the functionality with like full screen Android apps you could rescale. If you have a bit of technical knowledge, I really think the Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 is the best dumb phone out there today. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you like this watch? Because I sure as hell do. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.